Ads are officially coming to the chat service known as Discord. Are we worried about it? Find out in our discussion. Then we get to the main case for this episode, where we talk about bringing a blanket to the movie theater. Is this acceptable movie etiquette? Stay tuned for our verdicts. What you are listening to is real. The parties involved are not cool. They are actual geeks with a case pending in the court of public opinion. The party's case has been dismissed, and the dispute will be settled here on our podcast. There will be no lawyers. There will be no witness testimony. The judge's decisions are final.
Hello, I'm Judge Ivan.
I'm Judge Jonathan, and this is Geeks on Trial. Today's case, Wet Blanket.
Welcome to Geeks on Trial. This is the podcast where we settle petty disputes between actual geeks over movies, video games, board games, and more. If you'd like to submit your own geeky case for a future episode, you can email us at geeksontrial@gmail.com. You can also support the show over at patreon.com/geeksontrial for just $5 a month, where you can gain early access to both our audio and our video episodes, plus our bonus show, Geeks on Trial Sidebar.
It's a really good deal, and we need all the help you can give us this week because, colds are going around. I'm under the weather. Ivan's under the... Are you under the... You're under...
I'm above the weather.
You are above it?
I'm above the weather. I am the weather, mother.
But what? Calm down. Calm down. That's just my preamble to let the folks know that I'm going to be... This isn't going to be the best show.
Our voice quality is not there this week.
It's my brain is just... I feel a little out of it. I feel a little bit crazy.
So the show might be really good.
I'm always hearing it, but I don't like the way I'm hearing it right now.
Oh, no, because your voice is raspy.
It's scaring me. No, come on.
It's low, it's deep, it's sexy, it's sensual.
Well, everybody, welcome to Geeks on Trial. My darling, I can't get enough of Geeks on Trial.
Oh.
So we do have some stuff to talk about. You brought this to my attention. A little scary.
I did. It is a little frightening, a little scary. It's something that we use every day, all the time, to talk to people, play games, even record this very show that you are watching or listening to.
We're using it right now.
Discord, the popular gaming chat service, I guess it's a gaming chat service, yeah, is threatening us.
They're threatening us.
With
ads.
It's
a threat. It's a promise. Yeah, they've announced that they're going to be bringing advertisements to the platform, which up until this point has not had any ads and has been completely free. Now, They do have the Nitro subscription service. So that's sort of how that's the only way they've been able to make any revenue up to this point, as far as I know. But now ads are coming in. But the form in which these ads are coming is a little strange. It's not what I expected when I read this. And I'm going to need you to help me with the details because... I was having trouble. Like I said, I got the brain fog, and I was trying to wrap my mind around this.
So one of the ways that I saw is that they're going to have ads in the lower corner. They specified a corner, but I think it was lower
left. They said lower left.
Lower left corner, because I guess that makes a difference for people. Now, in the lower left corner, they're going to have ads, and those ads you can gamify, you can click on, you can try to get points to get better ads.
It sounded like the ads are specifically going to come for people who are streaming video games using Discord. So it doesn't sound like this is for, if you're just chatting in a server with your buddies. It sounds like this is targeting mainly, for now, people who are streaming video games. And it sounded like the ad is going to say, let's say the person's playing Fortnite.
Right.
It'll be click here and shoot 10 people while this stream is going on, and you'll get some Discord bucks or something. I don't really know if that's accurate, but it's something like that where they're going to be asking you to do stuff as you play. Or are they asking the streamer to do it? I don't know who's doing
Which is
what.
going to be annoying on multiple points, because if you use Discord to run your stream via Twitch and you're using that to show multiple people, then you're going to have this annoying ad in the place, and that ad might not go with your streaming personality or stuff like that. And it's just another way to spread ads across multiple platforms. Second, it's going to be distracting, because you don't know if it's on the video, which I'm assuming it might be on the actual video screen. We've used Discord before to play board games during the pandemic. And if it's in the lower left corner, you might have to be more aware of what you place there. So it's taking up
Hmm.
screen real estate, potentially. We don't, this is speculation. We just know it's
Maybe
going
it
to
will
be,
be. Maybe it's like the lower left corner, but not actually covering the video screen. Maybe it's like
right.
in the black part of the screen or something. I don't know. But here's a dumb question: do people use Discord to stream to Twitch or YouTube? I'm sure. I mean, some people must, but
Right.
it seems like if you're any kind of a semi, not even a professional streamer, just at any level above just like the most casual bare minimum streamer, you're using OBS or you're using StreamYard or one of these I feel like Discord is mainly for like your buddies, your friends. Maybe
The
I'm
only thing
wrong though.
the only thing I can think of is like, how we record, having multiple people on screen at a time where you can use Zoom or Skype. Some people I do think, or I even think we might have used Discord. So that's like the only thing I can think of to have multiple people on screen. But normally, if you're a streamer, it's usually just you and the game, or you and somebody else in the room with you. Because, it's rare. I don't watch a lot of streaming events. Ooh, excuse me.
Oh boy. Oh
But
boy,
it's
folks.
rare that people
It's
will
all
have
falling
like
apart.
multiple people on screen at once.
Maybe it's also for, I suppose, for Patreon content, for instance, for creators who are doing stuff that's like
Right.
only for a specific group of fans, not for a public group. They'll use their channel to stream stuff for
Oh
certain
yeah, I guess
viewers.
you can like, if it's like join our group and we'll stream a special show to you all.
Yeah, maybe there must be use cases for it. I just am not as tuned into the streaming world, but
Right.
it sounds so weird and so specific that it's hard for me to wrap my head around it, obviously. But it does seem like this is inevitable, and we see every platform go through some of this.
Right.
Twitter, Facebook. This happens to all of them where they start out good and they slowly get. The word for this that's been coined not by me is shitification. I don't know if you've
Okay.
ever heard that.
No, I like it
But
though.
yeah, it's a thing about how basically internet services will often start out like free and all these features, and then
Right.
gradually they go, "Hey, wait a minute, we have to make money somehow," and that's when it becomes shittier
Well,
because
that's the thing for me, even with a lot of like, content creators and projects online, they started out making X amount of money and it's just they're starting to get greedy in a way, or I guess because I didn't even see that costs would be going up, but I guess like if the more people join, the more resources you need to scale with that. But Discord also kind of pushes the Nitro thing a lot, and a lot of people I know use the Nitro and use it for the special things while they're gaming, and it's fairly cheap. I don't, I can't give you a price right now, but it's like, and
can't.
they often advertise that a lot too. Discord also has something with some games. I don't know if Twitch and Discord are partnered or one owns each other or something, but there's often like sponsorships that way as well. So I'm just wondering if it's, a corporate greed thing where it's like, oh, we can get money, we have the space to throw an ad, why not? Or is it like we need to scale up to give you better things? And, Discord updates every 35 minutes. There's always something that's like on my screen where it's like, oh, we, improved this, we did this. Now, another thing I didn't know about Discord, and it's crazy, there are so many private servers that are on there, and I don't think of Discord as a server place. I think of it as a friend group place. But apparently there's like thousands of people in different, communities, different whatever, that use this for how they meet and greet.
Sure,
So I don't know if
sure.
they want to, throw ads and stuff like that or whatever, but you're talking about different sites, different, whatever. I don't think any other chat things that I've ever used have ads. Like, I don't think Skype, Zoom, or, anything else I've ever seen ads in. And those
Yeah.
are usually heavier in the video aspects.
Well, Skype and Zoom have like subscription services, don't they? Where you can
Right.
pay a monthly fee to get like phone calls and better quality and stuff like that.
Right. But so does
I barely ever
Discord.
use them, so I don't
No,
really
yeah.
know. Yeah, I have no idea how much revenue Nitro actually brings in for them versus how
Right.
much revenue they need to stay afloat. But I do have to. I don't inherently blame them for wanting to have ads because it seems like in this day and age that's the only way to get money from people,
Right. Mm-hmm.
or to be like Wikipedia and beg for pledges
Right.
once a year, which I guess they could also do. I don't know the business. It's like one of these things where these tech companies will come out and they'll just kind of say, we just keep getting investors, and we're not profitable for like 10 years, and people just keep investing because
Right.
they're like, eventually it'll work out. That's how so many of these things seem to go. And it's beyond my head. So there's a reason I'm not in Silicon Valley right now making billions of dollars. It's because I'm
Oh,
stupid.
that's oh,
That's the
huh.
reason.
All right. And
I mean,
I was thinking about it too, that like at least they're not taking away a thing and making you subscribe. Like they're not taking away better quality video right now. Like, by putting in the ads, they are keeping the platform the same as it is and not taking stuff away. Because I even know like there's some YouTubers and stuff who take away some of their content and put it behind a paywall. Or even podcasters who are like, oh, if you want our back library, you have to pay for it. Where it's like they're taking stuff away from you. By this, they're not really doing that.
Not yet.
Right now. Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely preferable to, from now on, when you're chatting in your server, every other, like every 10 messages, there's going to be a bot saying, eat at McDonald's,
Right.
right? Which they could do. Or they could just put an ad on your screen, just like in the corner underneath your friends list, could just be a little ad, just like a picture of, just like a flash banner ad you'd see.
A pop-up, just a
On
regular
any other website, yeah. Or you could have like this week your server is sponsored by Pepsi or whatever.
Right.
I mean, there's a million ways they could do it. So like in some ways, this is almost. It's like it sounds like they're trying to make it less intrusive, but in another way, it almost feels more dystopian because of that. But. So I don't know.
Now,
it doesn't affect me as the thing because I hardly ever use this aspect of the platform.
Well, I was just thinking about it. We use this. We're using Discord right now to communicate to each other for the podcast and the video. Now, what I'm hoping that they don't do is have ads with audio. Because I have a feeling
nobody likes that.
That would be driving people away. Like if an ad pops up and it's like, click here, like something's like that'll literally be like, okay, we're going somewhere else. Or another nerd will do what Discord did and make a new Discord. Because what happened was AIM went away and Discord basically took over what AIM was.
Well, the worst thing is now Discord didn't just take over AIM. It's taken over, like it's replaced web forums also. Where now,
oh yeah,
like you have Reddit and Discord, and a lot of times it's harder to find information because if you're looking for, if you want info on some specific video game community or something, the answer to that question is no longer a Googleable search. You have to join the Discord community and then search it in the Discord chat from 6 months ago.
Well, and that's the interesting thing that we were talking about one time, that like,
I feel like last
right
week
now,
we were talking about this
new stuff, like, not TikTok, Snapchat
Internet.
and stuff like that. It's disposable. You don't want to have your history out there, so it goes away instantly. And that's basically what, a lot of these servers are doing. So it's like, oh, we don't want to see this. It's gone instantly, or it's harder to find. Like, you can't Google it.
It's not great for the internet as a whole. It makes it a more difficult place to find information in, which is, ostensibly the entire point of the internet. But
right.
But so I'm just confused by these ads, and I'm curious to hear how people who actually stream on Discord, how it's going to work for them, and if it is really annoying, or maybe it'll be cool. Maybe people will like it. Or they'll just ignore it. I don't know.
But this definitely does seem like the beginning of.
It's gonna happen.
Not the end, but like more thing. They're gonna have like, every 30 minutes if you're streaming, we're gonna have a 15-minute or 15-second mid-roll in your. It's like Twitch. Twitch didn't have ads for a while, and it's like, oh, you miss segments of games or live shows or whatever. Biggest example of this was cable back in the day. They're like, hey, you pay $30 a month, no ads, and they're like, oh wait, we could put ads in cable. Hold on.
I hear they still have cable some places.
Who?
They.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be more ads. This is the and it's going to be another just pay for Nitro. That's going to be this. Now that they have Nitro, it's like they can get away with making the base experience worse because they're like, well, just pay and it'll be better.
Now, do you have any of these things where it's like, oh, pay $5 a month to get rid of ads, or do you just like on websites just grin and bear it? Because the ones I could think of are like like different news websites or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, pay us money," and I'm like, I could just get around it,
The
or
only
just
thing,
not use your site.
the only thing that's similar that I do is I pay for the ad-free tier of Hulu.
Okay,
But yeah, nothing, no other website or service, Discord,
Right.
YouTube. I don't do any of that stuff because I just don't use them enough to really justify it personally.
right. Like if you were on, or if it was part of work, or you were on something every day, and it was that bothersome, or there wasn't another free option out there. But do you think things like this should be paid because somebody did take time and make it?
I mean, they got to make money somehow. Like, I
Right.
don't blame them for like you. They can't just do all this for free. It'd
Right,
be
and
nice
host
if
things
they
somewhere,
could.
and yeah,
But the way our society operates, it's like eventually someone's got to pay money for it, and someone's got to get something out of it. And
right,
Nitro, I think, is a good way to do it. So yeah, like you
right,
said, it's a question of is this just we want more and more money, which is
right.
very likely, or do we need more money? And that I have no idea. I'm sure I don't know if they publicize their profit. They probably do. Are
Well,
there
I think they said
stockholders
the-
of Discord? Is it public? I don't even
I think
know.
they said in the article they might be going public, which is probably why they're doing this, to make them look better,
Right.
so
Well,
that they'll
once-
get
yeah.
more money. But
once you get
Amazon did
people
the same
involved.
thing. Amazon, oh, here's pay for Amazon Prime. You're not going to get any ads. Hey, guess what? You're going to have ads before every show you watch, and you're going to pay.
Yeah, I
So-
got out right before that
Right.
kicked in. That's the one place. Like, put ads in my YouTube video, put ads in my podcast, but like any scripted like media, a TV
Yeah.
show or a movie, no, I'll pay you whatever amount to, or I just won't pay you. Wink, wink, to get because I cannot stand an ad,
Right.
even though that's of course how I lived my life for the first 20 years of my life
Well,
with
that-
cable because we had no choice. But now
I know-
I cannot stand it.
I am actually really happy that like maybe when you go to the movie theater, there's one ad before the things. Maybe
Depends on the
two?
chain. Depends on the chain. But yeah, AMC is not so bad. Hey, it's funny you bring up movie theaters. Mm-hmm. I'm laughing about it because that does tie into today's case.
Oh,
Yeah.
huh.
Let me fill you in, and the folks at home as well. Today's case comes to us from the internet. You can find a link in our episode description. Our defendant today is Tammy. Tammy just recently went to go see a particularly long film in the movie theater with her parents, mom and dad. Maybe it's two moms, maybe it's two dads. We don't know. Use your imagination. Anyway, she had a great idea before going. She thought, this movie is going to be kind of long. How can I make it a little bit more comfortable for myself? I know. I'll bring along a blanket. A blanket will keep me warm, and a blanket will keep me cozy. And that sounds all fine and dandy, but her parents see her with the blanket, and they react strangely to the decision. They make a big fuss. They say, what are you doing? This is a strange choice. Who brings a blanket to a movie theater? You're holding us up. Don't bring that blanket. What's wrong with you? You're a freak of nature. Get back in the cupboard where you belong. Get. Hit her with a stick. Made Tammy feel bad. She feels like she's maybe in the wrong. So as dual judges here on Geeks on Trial, it's now our job to determine whether Tammy's movie blanket is some dank shit or if her parents have the right to yank it. That's the
Term
the
I
brain
haven't
fog
heard in
rhyme.
what 5 years.
There aren't too many rhymes for blanket, so
But dank shit. That's
it's
up there
one
with
of
it.
them. All right,
Remember
now,
dank memes? Dank memes were fun.
they're still around for a certain
they?
corner of the internet, I think.
People who used. Anyway,
So this is something that's
What?
been on our radar for a while, and you again brought this is something else you brought to my attention. These papers came across my desk and they were stamped via you. We got into
walked in,
our office
like
here.
I got this file for you.
That's right. You put it in my inbox, and after a few days, I got to it. Oh, what's this? And it was this blanket case.
It was actually a blanket. It was written on a blanket.
And I remember there was some bewilderment on my part
Yeah,
that
you were
that
taken aback.
resulted in some bewilderment on your part because for the life of me, and I think I'm still going to stick to this, I cannot personally recall ever seeing a human being.
Oh, well, you should.
I want to specify human. Bring a blanket into a movie theater. And for you said for you, this was if not a common occurrence, something you were familiar with. Is that accurate?
Yes. Now I've never done this myself.
Okay.
I've never brought up like because I'm a person who when he goes into the movie theater, he wants to bring as little things as possible into the theater. Even if it's winter out, if it's snowing, I will leave my coat in the car and just run in. Because I don't, it's a bulky thing, especially back in the day when it was the individual seats and not the giant reclining seats. You're very tight. You're very little room. But I'm not a person, huh?
I mean, I don't want to get us on a tangent already from the middle of your, but this brings up another question of because what do you do when you got a jacket? Because sometimes you got to wear a jacket. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes
I go to the bathroom.
You got to wear a jacket, right? Okay, come on. Come on. If it's winter, I'm wearing a jacket. When you sit down, I feel like there's three options. You just keep the coat on for the movie.
Nope.
2, you put it in the seat next to you. 3, you stuff it under your seats. I think those are the only 3 options. I hate to bring up Curb Your Enthusiasm all the time, but there was a recent Curb episode where he hung his jacket on the seat in front of him. And
I've done that
the whole issue.
If there's nobody there.
I feel like the thing, in my experience, the seats, it depends on the style of movie theater, but I feel like usually the seats don't lend themselves well to hanging a jacket on them. I'm usually I guess there's number 4 is you could like hold it in your lap. Like you could just kind of stuff it in a ball and like sit with it on top of you.
That's where popcorn goes.
What do you do?
Me personally, if I won't wear a big jacket, like fine. In theory, if it's in spring day, if it's fall, if it's I'll run in with my t-shirt or wear a long sleeve t-shirt and not have to worry about it. But
yeah,
I'll plan accordingly and wear like a hoodie, something that I don't need to necessarily take off, or if I need to take it off, it can kind of slide behind my back and not offend or affect anyone around me. But I've been to theaters where people wear like the Jerry Seinfeld poofy jacket, not Jerry Seinfeld.
The George Costanza poofy jacket.
George Costanza poofy jacket. And you're sitting next to him and it's like, oh, your jacket is touching me. Can you not?
Yeah, that's no good.
I get offended. No.
I was going to say this is illustrating the difference between us because you also are a man who is more adjusted to cold temperatures.
Right. I'm a warm person.
You like it when you like to keep things chilly. Because I'll sometimes, even if it's not that cold outside, I'll bring a hoodie into the theater because oftentimes I find it's cold in the movie theater and I don't want it to get cold while I'm sitting there. But I'm guessing for you that's never a problem.
Well, we'll get back to that. But what do you do with your jacket? I
will, if the theater is relatively empty, then I'll put it in the seat next to me. If it's anywhere near fullish, even if it's not packed, but if there's like other people in my row, I'll just stuff it under my seat.
See, I used to work in a movie theater. I know those floors.
I'm a dirty man. I don't care. I'm a disgusting, filthy, ratty man. Let it get dirty. It's fine. I don't care.
Here to hear, folks. Now, my partner does bring a bag with them. He always has a purse, a bag, or whatever. So we always have that issue too. But, it depends. With modern day theaters, we just put it between us because you're sitting on a couch at that point. There's enough room. You could lift that middle armrest. There's enough stuff going on. But back in the day, or even in some older theaters, it is a lot harder with those, I don't even know, just regular theater seating, the ones that fold down. And it's harder to store stuff because you're packed in like sardines. But usually with those seats, you had more room. There's less people just sitting right next to you on an average film.
Yeah. Sometimes I will just keep the jacket on, but that's not a great solution.
See, now for you, when you go to a theater, do you for me, I prefer it chilly so I can put something on. I hate when you go into a theater and it's like, oh, they have the heat on and it's warm.
I've just never experienced that. I feel like every movie theater I've ever been in was cold, or at least, or like bare minimum, like
right,
cool, not warm.
Well, I've had the issue in the summer too, where you go in and it's like
maybe their AC broke or something, or
right, or it's just
just
expensive
so
to
hot
run.
outside that it's
Right.
they can't keep it as cool as you want it. Yeah, yeah.
But I have seen, I live in an area with a lot of 55 and over communities, those types of gated communities
55
where it's like
inches.
55-inch gates. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's a lot of old people that live in our area, so a lot of people over 55,
They're on death's
over
door.
65. Yep, and they're very cold. They're very cold people, so they come in there shivering. So they bring in blankets. I've seen this quite a bit, more so, and I think this is a curse of the reclining seats because people think, oh, it's like I'm at home laying on the couch watching a movie. Let me put a blanket on. Let me do whatever. And that brings up another interesting annoyance with that. People snoring in a theater. Which, by that laugh, I'm sure you've never experienced.
I mean, very rarely. I don't, other than my own dad who falls asleep during movies, and then I elbow him in the ribs. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I've been bothered by talking plenty of times. Right. If it's happened, it's not enough times for me to be able to say it's an issue. But it's something.
I would say once every 10 times I go to the theater, somebody falls asleep and snores. Yeah, it's.
So is it just old people? Is that what it is?
A lot of times it'll be so. The times I've seen people falling asleep, it's either old people or like a husband in a movie that he doesn't want to see with his wife and he just kind of passes out, or like a parent with their kids at a kids movie. But it's always amazing. Like I'm the kind of person who can fall asleep anywhere. Theaters are loud. Like
sometimes you get sleepy. Sometimes you get a little
during a movie.
I've fallen asleep during a movie
in a theater, not at home.
It's happened like twice in my life.
Because
it's happened.
At home, it makes sense. Or like when I was in film school or whatever. But
I will definitely get sleepy in a movie theater. Like there are times when I'm seeing like a 9 p.m. movie and I'm like, oh, I'm going to need to get a soda because I'm sleepy.
Well, that's where the popcorn comes in. It gives you that, like, I'm doing something, keeping me awake thing. But yeah, I've seen most of the time, not in the summer, most of the time it's in the winter or the fall months. Somebody will walk into a theater, normally a woman, and they will have a little fleece blanket that they put on themselves and watch a movie. Now, this isn't as regional as I would like to think, because there's a podcast that you and I both listened to that they had a discussion.
Ladies.
Yep, The Office Ladies, starring The Office Ladies, where they were talking about like AMC doing like blanket warmers and like having rentable blankets that the movie theater should do. So I do think it's more common than you've probably seen, or or you've never noticed it. I scope out.
I mean, that's possibly true too. I'm not looking at people when I'm out.
Right.
And also, again, at least in the past, but I mean, I've been to so many damn movies in my life. Like even from when I was a kid, I can't remember ever seeing this, but.
Well, that's the thing. I've never seen it in the old school seats. Never. It's the second the recliner seats came in that people were like, oh, this is a luxury. I can like take a nap. See, that's the issue. The second that I put a blanket on and I'm like, my feet are up, I'm tired.
It's sleepy
It's like,
time.
well, it's sleepy time. Now, do you, in these recliner seats, do you often put your feet up and full recline?
Oh, every
mode,
time. I mean, I'm not all the way back, but yeah, if my feet can go up, my feet are going up 100%. Right. There's no.
Well, the reclining seats are great for like when you get a packed movie and you're sitting more towards the front. Because you can go back and see the screen more.
That helps.
But
that helps.
It's just so weird to me that like the second these seats came out, people got more like, oh, they're wearing. I've seen people wear full-on pajamas, and I'm like, it's noon.
Well, that might be. I think part of that is also a post-pandemic effect that probably ramped up. But we've covered old people. You also brought up another factor which I think is important to this case, which is gender.
Right.
Tammy, our defendant, is a female, and I feel like this is a common stereotype, but is true. It's not a stereotype, but like you often hear about. I feel like in workplaces, in offices. Speaking of the office ladies, when office ladies are in the office, I feel like that everyone jokes about how women get colder and have to like bundle up and bring sweaters because men generally, I don't know what it is, just have more body heat in their bodies, I
I
guess.
guess, or bigger, but I don't. But I used to work in an actual office, and I was the only male in said office, and I would have to have a fan on my desk because they'd be like, "Oh, can we just have the heat on to like 85?" And I'm like, "No."
Yeah, so that's part of it. We don't want to be we
Yeah,
don't want to be gender biased,
but it
but
is, it's a common
you're
thing that's
saying
out there.
you've noticed this. So from your personal experience,
Mhm.
is it mostly or all older people and women? Would you say?
I wouldn't say. I would say 95% of the people that I've ever seen were women or identified as women or whatever. Where and
I assumed they were women. It's fine.
right, I asked, and
I took a informal survey at the theater.
I woke up, hey, blanket freak, what do you? So then, and most of the time, I would say it is like 50 plus. But there is the time where I've seen like people our age or a little bit younger, you know, with their significant other cuddled under a blanket. That's the only time where it's a male in a blanket. It's when like he's next to his significant other and they're like cuddled together, which grosses me out because I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? That's
Hey,
the other
come
reason
on!
why.
Don't kink
That's the
shame.
other. That's another reason why guys can't do it.
We don't need
People
to
are
get
like,
into
what are you doing under there?
that. That's true. Yeah, if a guy brings a blanket, especially an older guy,
Right,
it's a different look. It's he's got a mustache, he's got a weird hat and a trench coat.
right.
He's gonna
Well, if
get
you have the
some.
trench coat, why do you need the blanket? That's why you
Yeah,
wear the trench coat.
yeah, I guess. Well,
That's why I wore my trench
you
coat.
build in redundancies. You want to have a plan B always. What about a slanket or a snuggie?
Well, at that point, you
Is
just
that
look
too
like a
far?
freak. But I also like it is weird. Like you're walking like as somebody who's like I don't want people looking at me, which doing what we do for anyway. I wouldn't want to bring in anything extra to a movie theater because I'm always thinking like, oh, they think I'm sneaking in food. They think I'm what's going on with that blanket? What are you
I just
doing?
don't want people looking at me at all. Yeah.
Well, that's why you use the blanket. You put it over your head and you run into the theater.
When the truth is nobody gives a shit, but
Right.
that's not how I'm going to perceive it.
No.
Yeah. It's a weird. I'm also trying to think if I was going to the movies with somebody
Right.
and they were like, "Hold on, let me grab a blanket."
Right. Now, think about this.
I
You go with a
would.
significant other, a friend, a parent, or whatever. Would you be like, you're not bringing that blanket with
Well,
you?
that's the thing. I got to be honest with you. If it's a woman, my reaction is honestly more like, I don't know what this is. I don't know what this says about my upbringing or society or whatever. But a woman, I'm like, women be blanketing.
Well, because also women carry things with them. Like women always have a purse with stuff going on, different
And
things.
isn't there just a cliche of like the girlfriend on the couch with the blanket that just like they
Right.
love to be all cozy with a box of treats or something watching Netflix like that? That is the cliche.
I just imagine you have a box in your house that's just treats.
Girl treats. Who's good? You going to treat? Whereas
No.
if it
Okay.
were a guy friend, I would definitely be like, "The
What
fuck
the
are you
are you
bringing a
doing?
blanket for?" What are
Right.
that's. But also part of that is because, like I said, I've never seen it.
Right.
So am I reacting because there is something inherently weird about it, or is it just because
Right.
I'm not used to that?
Right.
Because my reaction in the abstract when I read this case for Tammy is to kind of think there's nothing like inherently wrong about having a blanket in the
Right.
theater. It doesn't affect other people.
And there's really no like stigma. Like it's not like, oh, look at the freak with the blanket. It's not something that comes up in pop culture. It's not something that's like, we're the only two people who are making fun of it.
Right, nobody's talking about this at all.
Right.
But I can't deny that I'm like, if someone did this in my presence, I do think my reaction would be that's weird. And I'm not sure what that is. I'm not sure what that disconnect is in my brain.
Well, for me too, it's like, would you do this at a Broadway show? Would you go to a theater, like a performance theater, and bring a blanket? Like, I think even before pandemic, movie theaters in general have gotten too relaxed. Which I find, you're going to view something. But like if you look at stuff from like when movie theaters first opened, people were in full fucking suits. They're wearing like,
Bring back suits. That's what they were trying to do when that Minions thing happened, remember?
oh yeah, that's right.
All the
But it's the
Zoomers were in
same.
suits.
But it's the same thing. Zoot suits. It was the same thing with like airplanes and stuff, where it's like people are like, wearing like whatever. But it's like I get it because you want to be
You're
comfortable.
saying "Make America Great Again." I think is what you're saying.
Oh boy, I didn't.
I heard you say that, but yeah, I mean, you're saying even before pandemic, but I do think that's a big part of it. Is the people just got so used to chilling on their couch. For me, the biggest, I think, obviously the biggest issue of that, the negative side effect is when people are talking in the theater or being rude or because they feel like this is their personal living room. I'm not someone who's offended by if you want to wear sweatpants or pajama pants or whatever.
No, but it kind of like it came into that whole thing. But you're right; it led into, well, I could bring my child and have them on their giant full bright tablet the entire time.
Is this a slippery slope? Maybe is the blanket like step 2 of a. Yeah, step 5 is them just with their own iPad and their and
Which
whatever.
I've seen before. Like I've seen people bring in a Switch where it's on full brightness. I'm like, you're a grown ass man. What are you doing?
You should be playing a Steam Deck, sir.
It's true, but you should have VR on while you're sitting in a movie theater watching another movie.
So realistic.
But but this is the downside to the film industry is we are trying so hard to keep bodies in movies, in movie theaters, that we just won't say anything to people. Like the blanket, you're right. Not offensive at all, not weird, not whatever. But, like bringing a phone in and having, like ushers don't even come and do a movie check anymore. Like when I used to work for AMC, we used to have to come in while the movie was going and make sure, okay, movie's going, lights are off, people are good, let's go. Mainly that was to stop people from recording a movie and bootlegging it, but people really don't do that as much anymore. But it is like, they want to keep bodies in these theaters because theaters are closing left and right. So any gimmick, anything, and I think that's why the recliny chairs became so popular because they're like, we want people to be comfortable. We want people to be, here. That's why they bring food to your seats, which is also weird to me.
Pretty soon it's going to be like an airplane. They're going to come around. Would you like a blanket and headphones and there's a little audio jack?
I'm surprised they haven't done that.
Yeah. I mean, they have
because they do have like the luxury theaters where it's like there's one I saw. I don't know where. I think there's one in Jersey where it's like it's almost a bed you're laying in. Like you're laying in like a little your own bed, and I'm like, that's weird.
Well, didn't we? I don't know if we talked about it in the show, but there was some place in I don't remember where they are doing a literal. You rent what basically looks like a hotel room to watch a movie.
Right. Yeah.
Which I think is disgusting.
Right. At what point is that going to become like an after hours thing, or
It's a little bit just. And also, just like, what do you want to watch a movie in a bed for? Come on.
Well, let me ask you this question: when you're at home and you're sitting on your couch or chair or whatever, are you blanketed? Or do you purposely? Because like I said, if the second I lay down on my couch, not finishing this movie.
I am often blanketed on my own couch, not like full on like, oh, I'm like underneath with the blanket up to my chin or anything like that. But I'll often have a blanket sitting there and maybe I'll just like throw it on top of me or something. Or... So
you're an old man. You have your little shawl on over your legs.
I've been an old grandpa at this point. I'll often eat dinner and fall asleep watching a movie at 8 p.m. I'm not going to lie. It happens.
Have a bowl of Werther sitting on the table in front of you.
Sometimes you need a nap. That's just how it is.
You have been calling me lad a lot more, and it's very weird.
Well, I'm also Scottish.
Oh, huh.
Yeah. So I don't know who to blame for this epidemic. I don't know. We've named I think a few valid possible sources for it.
But it's also not. Does it affect you? Like when you go into a theater and you see someone, it's more so of the hell they're doing. All right, going to the like. Even if they're sitting next to you, like, as long as the blanket's not touching me and you're not, like, getting freaky while the movie's going on.
Like I said, there's very much a thing of if someone else is doing it, I don't give a shit.
Right.
If someone I know is doing it, I'm definitely going to make fun of them. But I don't know, but why? I guess it's just how, I don't really care what what people I don't know do in any regard.
Mm-hmm.
But there is something I do think there's something strange about it. Now, it's not to
Right.
say offensive or crossing a line in any way, but there is something that's there's something in my brain that I don't know that I can pinpoint.
Right.
That's like
It's a little bit
it's
too
weird
relaxed.
to do that. Yeah, maybe
Like
that's
you're
what
out
it
in
is.
public.
Maybe that's what it is. It's like maybe it is like where after I said I don't care if you wear sweatpants or whatever. Maybe it is kind of part of me just being like, just try to be a part of society, you know?
Right.
Like,
There's sweatpants, but then there's like when you're literally wearing pajama bottoms. It's like,
well,
because there have been times, God,
I was gonna say, I think I would react the same way if I went over to your house and we were watching a movie on your couch and you got under a blanket. I'd
Right.
be like, "What are you doing? That's for personal time."
well,
Blankets aren't
I'd
for
lift the
public
blanket
time.
and I'd
And you
pat the
invite
couch
me
and be
on
like, come closer. Put my arm around you,
I-
get you some girl treats.
I think there's parameters on coziness.
Right.
It's
Right.
like there's a time and a place to be that snuggly buggly. And I don't think a public place is the time. I think that's what it is.
It's even rare, like, me and my partner don't even like cuddle on the couch like that with a blanket. Like, that's a different time that you do that with. That's upstairs time.
And like you said, they invented hoodies for this reason. Like we have outerwear that is warm.
we also have climate control. Like, sure, movie theaters run cold because you have to like please everyone. But like, but do I see if I was a parent and my child was like, "Hey, I'm bringing a blanket," unless it was like my child was taking time where it's like, we need to get to this theater, hurry up, let's go. And she'd like, well, let me go find the blanket. Or if it was like a ratty blanket, a gross blanket, an offensive blanket, But like, if it was like,
the detail we don't have is this blanket had swastikas all over it.
right, it was her Hitler blanket, which I'm sure you could buy now from Trump.com. So it's the same thing of like, do you let your child? I mean, she's not she's 22, but like, do you let
that's
your
another
person
important factor in this case.
bring their? Well, okay, what's weirder, a 22-year-old bringing a blanket or a 22-year-old bringing like a plushie?
Well, plushie's much weirder. That's not a question.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Plushie's weird. I don't know where I am on this one.
Because it's like, why are the parents getting upset about this?
Right,
Why are
right.
they like? It doesn't affect them.
Right.
What are they worried that she looks like a freak? Like, you raised this freak.
Yeah, it does. I do agree that the parents' reaction sounds like an overreaction.
Right. It's like, we're still trying to control you. She's 22. Like
the worst case thing you should be doing here is be like, that's silly.
or like,
move
do you
on.
do you need warmer clothing? Do you need us to buy you some clothes?
So the thing is, I was kind of on her side, and then I kind of talked myself into being like, nah, she is a freak. So I don't know. Do you think you're prepared to deliver a verdict?
Yeah.
Okay, I'd like to hear your verdict.
I honestly don't see, it's weird because it's weird to me. Like, I would never do it, as a larger guy, as a guy in general, as a gay man, I don't like to draw attention to myself.
At least one of those was news to me.
No. I don't like to draw attention to myself in general unless I'm controlling it, like doing it here on camera, whatever. I like to minimize, go in, go out, be on scene, do whatever. Now, it doesn't affect me. Like, if I look over, I'm just like, that's weird. Somebody has a blanket. But the more it happens, the more it's like, whatever. They're just doing their thing. They're cold, whatever. I don't, she's not guilty. She's not guilty of being comfortable at this theater, especially by her parents. She's guilty of being, a little weird for bringing this blanket. But, like, it's her thing. It's her, it's her, why yuck her yum.
Your favorite thing to say.
Actually, I really hate that saying. It's gross. But,
No, you love it.
why, is it personally affecting or bothering you? No. Now, is there a time and a place for it? Like, would I go to when we went to go see Oppenheimer in New York and it was a big event and it was a giant theater? No, it's a
Are you
different
bringing this
thing.
to the red carpet premiere of your
Right.
your son's first movie or something?
Right. Or like if you're going to like, go see that movie theater that Kevin Smith owns and he's doing no.
Right,
You know,
just like a
but
live
if you're
Q&A
just-
or something.
Right. But if you're going to go see,
It's a matinee, it's a Tuesday afternoon, or it's a Saturday morning, you're just chilling. Yeah.
you're just going to see Minions, you're going to go see whatever, and you're just chilling at your local theater. No, I don't think there's any issue with it. Besides, you're going to get some looks. It's weird, but whatever. Yeah, not Tammy is not guilty.
I do think a time and a place does make a difference. I do think I'd be more accepting of this, like I said, like a Saturday 10:30 showing versus a Friday night when it's a crowd full of people.
Right. Or like if you're like, it depends on the area. Like if you're in a college town, and there's people, you expect college kids to dress like slobs and,
I want to paraphrase the late, great Dave Chappelle.
Okay. His career?
To say the following. Bringing a blanket to the movie theater is funny. It's not a reason to hate somebody. Mm-hmm. It's funny, but it's not a reason to hate.
Okay.
Which is me leaning towards saying, I'm going to make fun of you for doing this, but it's fine. On the other hand, do I want to live in a society where this is normalized? Where every single person is bringing blankets with them to the movie theater and we're all in there in our pajamas, chilling, snuggies, blankets, pillows. What is our pillows next? Pillows crossing a line to me. That's got to be crossing a line.
Right.
So, well, my initial reaction to this case was really, it's funny, but Tammy's not doing anything wrong. But I think that this may be the slippery slope that everyone talks about all the time.
This is people covering up. Think about if it was like a summer showing or whatever. People are just, in boy shorts and like a crop top at a theater. Like, that's weird.
I'm erect.
Oh. Huh. That's why you bring the blanket.
My point being, this is where it starts, and I feel like I have to nip this in the bud. I feel like I can't. If I condone this, then what's next? Then this is on the record, and then in future trials, the courts can point to our case and say, well, look at the case of Tammy v. Parents as judged by Ivan and Jonathan. Mm-hmm. Therefore, blankets go, pillows go, stuffed animals go, bring in your bed sheets. Right. It's chaos. Dogs and cats living together.
So it's a blanket statement that you're making right now.
I'm making a blanket statement. I have to, I think, for the betterment of society going forward, declare Tammy guilty.
Ooh, you are a professional man. But yeah, you're right, because what is next? What is the next thing that you bring up?
What's next? Gay marriage?
But, that's still, we're trying to give that back. We don't want it.
Oh, they did. You don't want it. That's fair.
We don't. No. But you're right.
Next?
What is
a little button that gives you an abortion right in the movie theater? Wouldn't that be nice?
That would be nice. I've been trying to get one for years.
It's an AMC special. You join the A-list, you get a free popcorn and an abortion. By the time Nicole Kidman comes on, the baby's out of there.
Lickety split. Now, would it be weirder for like AMC to cash in on this to you? Because they're going to. In the start of our show, we were talking about rolling ads and making money anywhere we can. The movie theaters are hard up for money.
If they do sell a fun blanket that ties into the movie, I might buy one. Not gonna lie.
The Taylor Swift blanket or the Ghostbusters Slimer blanket.
Buy the Avatar 3 blanket.
What would the Dune 2 blanket be? Would it have a hole in the middle?
Just be sand. Yeah, whatever. However you want to do it. So that means this is officially a mistrial. So that means both parties have to be punished.
Yep.
So I'm going to punish Tammy and you're going to punish her parents.
Okay.
Tammy's got to go to the movies in practically nothing.
Well,
She's 22. She's of age. So this isn't weird.
Right.
This is totally fine.
Mm-hmm. This is why men can't bring blankets to the theaters because of you.
No, I won't abuse my privileges in the gross, creepy way. I strike that from the record. Bailiff, strike that. Strike that from the record. Tammy just has to not bring a blanket. She's got to be a little chilly and no bathroom breaks. She's got to go see a boring 3.5-hour movie that she doesn't want to see. Go see Dune Part 2. Your boyfriend's going to make you go. I don't know. Suffer through it.
Well, that is the thing we didn't bring up. She said this was because of the length of the movie.
Yeah.
So she's planning on taking a nap. I feel like that's the vibe I get from that. It's like, she might be planning on
I thought it was like, I won't be able to stand the cold for that long, whereas a shorter movie, I'd be able to tough it out or something.
All right.
But I don't know. How are the parents getting punished?
Many blankets. They had to have so
The
many
opposite.
blankets. Actually, it has to be like a stereotypical straight woman again. So many pillows on the bed that you can't use, but you have to have these blankets. They have to be covered in that plastic that they put on couches that you're not supposed to use at a grandparent's house.
Smother them.
Over the
until
top.
death.
Yes.
Smother
Wrap
them.
them up in wrap them up in blankets.
Put them out
They
of their
have to-
misery.
Yep.
I don't think we've crossed any lines in today's show, gender-wise.
No.
I don't think we've said anything wrong.
No. Race what now?
We'll get to that
I think we're
later.
good. Yeah.
If any of our viewers or listeners have an opinion about this case, please let us know. Email us, geeksontrial@gmail.com. You can also leave a comment if you're on YouTube or on podcast platforms, however you're checking out the show. And you can submit your own case, whether it has to do with movies, video games, comic books, board games, any geeky subculture whatsoever. And believe me, we'll stretch the limits of what geeky subcultures are. You'll probably get through. You can email those to us, or you can use our handy-dandy form. There's a link right in our show notes or episode description.
It's true. And just a little show note. I don't know if you knew about this. Google Podcasts is going away. So if you do listen to us via Google Podcasts, try to switch over to another podcatcher of your choice. I believe they're intertwining it in with YouTube Music, so I'm not sure how that's going to work. So just a heads up for anybody who uses Google out there. And if you want to help support the show, you can head on over to patreon.com/geeksontrial for just a few bucks a month. That's $5 a month, actually. You can gain some early access to these videos and audio episodes, plus you gain a brand new show that's really not that new anymore, but it's special. It's special to us. We have fun making it. Geeks on Trial Sidebar. You can get that over there. That comes out twice a month.
It's
And there's a
real
bunch.
good.
You get the whole backlog.
It's good value for your money. Helps us out. Helps me go buy more cold medicine.
Yep, and blankets.
And blankets.
Because he wears them. Yep.
Hey, Ivan, where can people follow you online?
Oh, we're doing this backwards. I'm going to have to do some weird editing going on here. You can find me over at
You got the cards lined up
Yeah.
in the
Just
order?
copy and paste. I don't. No, I don't. Yeah. I just have to actually pay attention now. So you can find me over at ivanhahn.com.
I didn't know I was making more work for you. I thought I was
make more- always.
I thought we could go either direction. Now I am
doesn't
because I
matter.
keep interrupting.
Right, it's fine. I'll just cover your face with the card.
Anyway, here's
It's
where
fine.
you can follow me online, and then we'll go to Ivan.
And youtube.com/thesnackguy. And this week I have a brand new video out where I talk about the new sauce coming from McDonald's.
Wait, oh, not the
the-
WickDonald's. There's another new sauce?
No, the McDonald's
Oh,
sauce.
it is the WickDonald's.
Yeah,
WickDonald's.
McDonald's. Where can people find
Do
you?
they still have it? I
on
haven't
the
tried
inter-
it.
Oh. I have some. I'll just give it to you.
Oh, that's okay. I don't want it. You can follow me.
Look in your
online.
fridge right now.
Check out my other podcast, The Yerky Boys. We review Animorphs. Well, we don't really review them. We read through the Animorphs book series. We're nearing the end of it. And you can also, I don't know, subscribe to my newsletter. I haven't written a newsletter in like months. Should I? I don't know. Sign up. Maybe I will.
Oh, there you go. So is there any other, like, did Animorphs do like movies, TV shows?
There's a TV. We're going to get to the TV show once we finish
Video
the books.
games?
There's at least one video game. Yep.
Board game? Is there a board game?
There's a board game or two as well. We're going to get to all
Oh.
of it eventually.
Oh.
It's all on the menu.
And then as you start running out of losing ideas, the Animorphs t-shirts. Let's find the Animorphs
There
t-shirts.
will
to
be
see.
an end date to this podcast. It
Yeah.
does have a
Not this
final end
podcast.
date. No. This one's going
This
forever.
one's forever.
Legally,
To the
we
other
must
podcast.
continue for as long as we possibly can.
What episode number are you guys on over there?
It's roughly the same as this one because they started around the same time, 57 or 58, something like that. Anyway, check it out. And you can check out Geeks on Trial, too, because you're doing it right now. Tell your friends, tell your mother, tell your father, tell your daddy, tell your uncle.
Thumbs
tell,
up.
Tell your pets.
Give us a stars.
Rate and review
Thumbs
us on
up.
iTunes.
All that jazz.
For some reason, I just have an urge to yell and go fuck yourself.
And until next time, I'm Ivan Hahn.
I'm Jonathan Estes, and this case is closed.